The park was unusually quiet that Tuesday afternoon. Autumn leaves danced in the wind as the golden sun filtered through the trees. Nathaniel Grancy, EO of one of the largest tech firms in the country, sat on the same weathered wooden bench. He visited every week. It was the only place in the city where the world didn't expect anything from him. His face was tired, older than his 43 years. Since his wife, Emma, had passed away 3 years ago, life had become a series of boardroom meetings, empty dinners, and silent evenings in a penthouse that echoed with the absence of laughter. He came to this park because it was where they used to walk. It was where she used to sit beside him with a book in her hand and her head on his shoulder. He sighed and leaned forward, elbows on his knees, watching squirrels chase each other. Lost in thought, he didn't notice the small figure approaching until he heard the softest voice. Excuse me, can I sit here? Nathaniel turned. Standing there was a thin girl no more than 8 bundled in a pink jacket a size too big, her cheeks pale and lips slightly cracked. A small wool hat covered her head, but wisps of fine hair peeked out. She looked sick and fragile, but there was something in her eyes, a kind of hope. The kind that didn't belong in someone so clearly struggling. Yes, of course, Nathaniel replied gently, shifting to give her room. She climbed up carefully and exhaled like she'd just finished a marathon. Thanks, she whispered, settling beside him with her hands in her lap. He watched her quietly for a moment. Do your parents know you're out here? The little girl gave a tired smile. My mom's at work. She says I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. But you looked lonely. He blinked, taken aback. Well, you're not wrong, he admitted, smiling despite himself. I'm Ava, she said, extending a tiny hand. Nathaniel. You have sad eyes, Mr. Nathaniel. That stopped him cold. He looked down at her, unsure of how to respond. He was used to people pretending not to notice. But Ava didn't pretend. I lost someone, he finally said. Ava nodded solemnly. Me too. Who did you lose? My daddy. Last year, her voice cracked slightly, but she didn't cry. Cancer. Nathaniel felt a tightness in his chest. I'm sorry, Ava. It's okay. Sometimes, I talk to him in my dreams. Mom says I got sick because I was sad too much. But I think maybe I just miss him too hard. He couldn't hold back the tears anymore. Not after 3 years of bottling them up. She looked at him with wide eyes, and before he could explain, she reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a crumpled tissue. Here, she said, holding it up. It's clean. Promise. He laughed through the tears and took it. Thank you. They sat in silence for a few minutes, watching the leaves swirl. Do you come here every day? He asked. Not every day. Only when I feel strong enough. Strong enough. Ava looked down. I have leukemia. That's what it's called. I get really tired, but I like coming here after my hospital appointments. Mom works 2 jobs, so I sit here and pretend the trees are listening to me. Nathaniel's heart broke into pieces. Do the trees answer? Not really, but they don't interrupt either. So that's something. He smiled again. Yeah, that is something. That day, Nathaniel walked Ava home. She led him to a modest apartment building just a few blocks away. The elevator didn't work, so they climbed 5 flights together, Ava panting the whole time. I'm faster on good days, she promised, giggling. Her mother, Clara, opened the door in a panic, wide-eyed and frantic until she saw Ava beside a tall, suited man with kind eyes. After a brief, tense silence, Nathaniel introduced himself. Clara listened cautiously, unsure whether to trust the stranger. But Ava beamed. Mom, this is Mr. Nathaniel. He's sad too. Clara looked at her daughter. And that's a good thing. Ava nodded. The best, it means he understands. Over time, Nathaniel became a regular visitor. Sometimes he brought Ava books, other times her favorite strawberry milk. Once he brought her a handmade stuffed squirrel because she once said the ones in the park made her laugh. He started joining her at hospital visits. 2. Quietly supporting from the background. At first, Clara resisted, used to doing everything alone. But when the car broke down, and the rent was due, and Ava needed more meds than the insurance would cover, Nathaniel stepped in. Not as a savior, not as a hero. As a friend. Nathaniel's company noticed the change in him. He wasn't just present, he was alive again. His assistant, Marion, caught him smiling at his phone once and nearly fainted. You okay, boss? He nodded. Just got a drawing from my friend Ava. She drew me as a superhero. Marion raised an eyebrow. Can we trademark that? He chuckled. Not a chance. When Nathaniel shared Ava's story with his board during a charity budget meeting, there was silence in the room. This is why we need to fund pediatric oncology programs. Not for numbers, for kids like Ava. The board approved the funding without a single objection. But life has a way of testing hearts that just started healing. One rainy night, Clara called Nathaniel in tears. Ava collapsed at school. They've admitted her. He was at the hospital in 20 minutes. He stayed by her bed all night, held her hand as machines beeped and IVs dripped into her small, trembling frame. Don't leave me, she whispered. Never, he said, his voice breaking. Doctors weren't optimistic. Her body was tired. The treatments weren't working like they used to. She needed a rare bone marrow match and fast. Nathaniel made the call the next morning. I want to fund a nationwide search. Every lab, every hospital. I'll cover it. All. But sir, it'll cost. I didn't ask for the cost. I asked for the match. The news spread quickly. Nathaniel's team launched a campaign called Match for Ava. It began with a quiet social media post, but within 72 hours, it had reached over 1 million people across the country. Celebrities tweeted it. Influencers shared it. But what touched Nathaniel most were the ordinary people, mothers, fathers, teachers, janitors lining up at clinics to be tested. People in Boston, Seattle, Toronto, Manchester, Vancouver, and even small towns in Alabama and Yorkshire were swabbing their cheeks, holding signs that read, for Ava, and then they found her match. A 27-year-old school teacher named Lucas Hernandez from New Mexico. He hadn't even heard of Ava until his sister showed him the video Nathaniel had posted. Ava sitting on a hospital bed, tubes in her arms, smiling, and saying softly, even if it's not me, thank you for trying. Lucas donated immediately. Ava's transplant was scheduled within the week. The night before the operation, Ava was quiet. Nathaniel sat beside her bed, her tiny hand wrapped in his larger one. Mr. Nathaniel, she whispered. Yes, Ava. Do you believe in angels? I think I might. She turned to look at him. Because, when I first saw you in the park, I thought maybe you were one. You looked so sad. Like me. But then you smiled when I gave you the tissue, and I knew. Angels are sad sometimes too. Nathaniel didn't speak. He couldn't. He just leaned forward and kissed her forehead. You saved me, Ava. She blinked. Me. Yes. Before you sat next to me, I wasn't living, I was just breathing. You gave me a reason again. Ava smiled. Then we both saved each other. The transplant was delicate, complicated, risky. Nathaniel sat with Clara outside the operating room for hours. He brought her coffee, held her hand, let her cry without saying a word. He had faced hostile takeovers, billion-dollar lawsuits, and crushing boardroom defeats, but none of them compared to the fear of that day. The doctor finally emerged. She's strong, he said, and she's fighting. The next weeks were slow, filled with careful observation. Ava's body didn't reject the transplant. Her strength returned. Her smile came back. One day, she sat up and said, "Can we go to the park, Mr. Nathaniel?" He laughed. "We can go anywhere you want." By spring, Ava was walking, laughing, and attending part-time school again. Nathaniel still visited, but now, it wasn't out of pity or sorrow. It was joy. He started reading her bedtime stories, then helping with homework, then attending school plays. One evening, Clara invited him to dinner, just the three of them. Homemade stew, a little undersalted, but filled with warmth. As they laughed around the table, Ava suddenly said, "Mom, can Mr. Nathaniel be my dad?" Clara froze. Nathaniel looked at her, eyes wide. Ava shrugged. "It doesn't have to be forever. Maybe just until forever." Clara's eyes filled with tears. Nathaniel reached across the table and took her hand. "I would be honored," he said. 2 years later, a plaque was placed on the old park bench. Greater than in honor of second chances Ava, who asked a question and changed a life. Nathaniel and Clara, married in a quiet ceremony in the same park where Ava had once asked to sit beside a stranger. Ava stood proudly beside them as Flower Girl, her hair grown back, her cheeks full of color. When the photographer told them to smile, she whispered, "Don't cry this time, Mr. Nathaniel. It's a happy day." He looked at her, then at Clara, and smiled wider than he ever had before. Ava, now 12, sat at her desk one summer morning, writing a school assignment titled, "A Moment That Changed Everything." She wrote, "Greater than most people think miracles are loud, but mine was quiet. It wore a suit and had sad eyes and sat alone on a bench. I asked to sit beside him because I thought he needed a friend, but he became my family. He didn't give me toys or make promises. He just showed up, and then he never stopped showing up. That's what love is, I think. Someone who doesn't leave even when things get hard."